Pregnant mom Stacie traded her life for her baby's life. She refused chemotherapy for her aggressive brain tumor for fear it would hurt her unborn child. Doctors had to deliver 2-pound Dottie prematurely.
About 2 o'clock that afternoon, I guess she had lost her stats. Her oxygen level dropped down to like 50% in her blood, and so they went ahead and they did emergency C-section and took the baby.
But with Stacie's mounting health problems, mom and baby had never actually seen each other.
We'd show her pictures and she'd cry and she'd want to hold her baby, and it was quite the ordeal, to be honest with you. I felt helpless. I wanted to help her. I wanted to do what I could for her. We all did, but they had told us it was impossible for her to see the child.
As she lay on her deathbed, 2 nurses decided they had to give her one last unforgettable gift.
I knew all this was going on in the background, and I didn't say nothing to her until I knew it was going to happen because I didn't want to get her hopes up. I just asked her, I said, "What would you think about seeing Dottie today?" And she shook her head, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, she's on her way." And she just kind of, her eyes popped open and she was like, "Where's she at? Where's she at?" She started trying to look around to find her. And they laid Dottie Mae right on her chest. And they just looked at each other. Nobody really said anything. It just got real quiet. I told sister, I said, "You have done a beautiful thing." It was the perfect moment. That's what I always call it.
It was the happiest news she'd ever had. After being told it wasn't possible, Stacie at 41 had become pregnant. She could barely contain herself when she broke the news to her brother Ray and his wife Jennifer.
It took her by total surprise. She was petrified and happy, and she was just beside herself with it.
But even as she was getting ready for the baby she would name Dottie Mae, Stacie, suffering crippling headaches, tunnel vision, and tremors, knew something was very wrong.
She'd call me crying. She would say that I'm not going to live long enough to have this baby.
A devastating diagnosis for the single mom-to-be, terminal head and neck cancer, and a heartbreaking decision: treat the cancer with chemotherapy or maintain the pregnancy. It was one or the other. Stacie chose the life of her unborn daughter, Dottie Mae.
She said, "You know, if I have to make a decision, you know what that's going to be. Don't even ask." She said, "I've lived my life."
In August, as Stacie's body was shutting down, doctors performed an emergency C-section. Dottie Mae was born 10 weeks premature, weighing just 2 pounds. She was rushed to a neonatal intensive care unit in a different building before Stacie could even see her.
It's just one of those things that you know that you have to do.
Nurses caring for Dottie Mae knew Stacie didn't have much longer to live. Even though both mother and baby were in separate intensive care units and both critical, these women, moms themselves, were insistent Stacie hold her baby. They raced to get the necessary precautions in place, then put Dottie Mae in an incubator and wheeled her over to meet her mother.
Sister just watched, and they laid Dottie on her chest, and sister had all these gowns and towels and rubber gloves and masks on, and she lifted up her hands under the covers and just held her. Just looked at her and smiled. It was beautiful.
She had never seen her. She'd seen pictures of her. You know, I mean, we'd talk about her, but she hadn't actually, got to hold her. And, that's what every parent dreams of, is holding their baby.
Stacie asked Ray and Jennifer to take care of Dottie Mae before falling into a coma. She died 3 days later.
Your mother would be proud.
Dottie Mae is now home with her new family after the ultimate sacrifice from a mother for her child. For today, Janet Shamlian and